Tonight, when I went to sleep, I almost became a eunuch, just because I couldn't stand the psychotic, controlling nature of my crazy girlfriend. I had proposed to break up. She came in the middle of the night holding a meter-long pair of scissors, rushed onto my bed, ready to raise her hand and bring down the blade to cut me. Fortunately, I discovered it in time, woke up and jumped out the window to escape, even fled abroad. Hid like that for 2 years. Who would have thought that as soon as I returned home and found a company to work for, I discovered that this company was full of my ex-girlfriends. Their personalities were all different. There was the repulsive type. There was the type who seemed sweet on the outside but was actually cold inside. And there was the type with extreme tendencies and completely insane. Why would I think of them anyway? I've been hiding for 2 years already. In their hearts, I am practically already a dead person. If it weren't for hearing that Yan's company had moved away from Jiang City, I really wouldn't dare come back. Dispelling the chaotic thoughts in my head. Adjusting my clothes, I walked toward the office building ahead. Today, I am going to a company to interview for a photographer position. The company is a small company that was established not long ago. I entered the office building, was about to press the button for the 28th floor when I frowned slightly. Normally, the elevator in this type of office building, only during the morning, noon, and evening time slots would there be especially many people, but now it's 3 p.m. On the elevator button panel, only the 28th floor was lit up. I felt that these people might be like me, also going to apply for that company. Is everyone going for interviews? A male student wearing a white hoodie broke the silence. That's right. Nowadays, this type of job with such benefits is hard to find. In terms of benefits, I don't really care that much. I mainly heard that this company is full of beautiful women. Hey, I won't hide it from you guys. I came here precisely because of the beautiful ladies. The atmosphere, which was initially somewhat gloomy, became lively because of the topic of beautiful women. I was somewhat interested, but not much. For me who had just finished renting a place, couldn't even pull out 1,000 yuan from my body. Right now, money and work are still more important. Noticing that I was standing in the corner, not saying anything, Yang in the white hoodie asked curiously, "Did you also come because of the beautiful women?" I felt this young man was quite approachable. I myself also have a talkative personality. When someone takes the initiative to ask, it's just chatting anyway. By now, I don't have many thoughts about that matter anymore. Yang felt that the man before him seemed to have his own stories. Couldn't help but ask further, "Why is that?" I am currently facing some emotional problems. In this area, I extremely crave. Women getting involved is troublesome, but wanting to break free is even more troublesome. Of course, there are some women you can get involved with, but there are also those you need to think very carefully about. After saying this, I thought of my playboy nature, added unless you can't endure it. My voice wasn't very loud, but it wasn't quiet either. The chatter of everyone in the elevator became much quieter. They looked at me with different expressions. Hey, go ahead and brag. Saying you don't want to casually flirt with women. Speaking as if as long as you wanted to, you could sweep them off their feet. Ding, the elevator arrived at the 28th floor. I walked behind the crowd. Yang walked beside me. Praising, "Brother, I can see from your expression. Nothing else, just deep experience." I clasped my hands behind my back, putting on the air of an expert. Felt that my mood wasn't bad. Yang took the opportunity to ask a question. "Brother, can I ask you something? Suppose a male student has been pursuing a female student for a whole year because the female student said he was too slow. Still hasn't even held hands yet. Now the female student says as long as he gives her 8,000 yuan to buy a phone, she will agree to start from holding hands and then dating. Do you think he should give it or not?" Feeling my gaze gradually becoming strange, Yang hurriedly added sheepishly, "This is about a close friend of mine. Don't think too much about it." I wanted to say something but held back. At this moment, I really wanted to say one sentence. Is this friend you're talking about actually yourself? I've been pursuing for a year already. The progress bar still hasn't reached. Holding hands. If it were me instead, with progress being so sluggish, I would have let her dry out on the side already. A person must know when enough is enough. Go back to the village and sing. Batman said he won't beat you up anymore. I thought this in my heart, but the words that came out were still quite gentle, asking a question. "What do you think of your friend?" I feel has especially foolish. Clearly knows the woman is awful, but still can't help continuing. Every time he and his friends get drunk, I have to go pick him up, and he says he only trusts me. After saying that, doesn't he still make me go pay for the room? When Yang said this, his eyes turned red. Hoo, awful woman. If you're going to scam money, just scam money. What's this about buying a phone? At this point, he was clearly confessing his true feelings, revealing the first-person pronoun I. How about this? I patted Yang's shoulder. Suggested, you treat me to a meal. Foot massage. It'll teach you how to help your friend get out of this relationship. Yang secretly wiped the corner of his eyes, collected his emotions. All right, let's add each other as friends first. My name is Yang. I am a sophomore at Jiang City University. My name is Wang Yu, also from Jiang City University. It's just that I graduated over 2 years ago. After adding each other as friends, I asked with a smile, "You're only a sophomore. Why are you rushing out to look for work?" "Senior, I am not here to look for work. I am here to find my cousin." Yang unconsciously lowered his voice. "My cousin is an employee of this company. When the time comes, I'll help you put in a good word. I looked at Chu Yang somewhat surprised. I didn't expect this matter could also have connections. Rang the doorbell. Everyone stood outside the glass door quietly waiting. Didn't have to wait long. A young woman appeared inside the door. The woman wore a black dress that reached her knees, a belt cinched at the waist, revealing a pair of snow-white slender legs. Her features were delicate and refined. Soft long hair draped over one shoulder, making her temperament even more gentle. Everyone outside the door held their breath. So beautiful. Chu Yun raised her eyes and swept her gaze over those outside the door. Those here for interviews follow me in. Those standing at the door for a moment, no one moved first, mainly because Chu Yun was not only beautiful, but her temperament was also extremely good, dignified and elegant, appropriately polite, and there was a calmness without any panic when facing strangers. These temperaments blended together, gave them the feeling of a young lady with extremely good upbringing. Didn't confront for long. Everyone still moved their feet and walked in, just as Chu Yun was about to close the door, leading everyone to the conference room for interviews. She heard a call. Wait a moment. Chu Yun's beautiful slender willow leaf eyebrows furrowed slightly. She recognized this as her cousin's voice. If there's something, can't he wait until after work to come talk to her? He absolutely has to come during work hours, although quite annoyed inside. But after all, he's still a cousin with a good relationship. Chu Yun stopped the motion of closing the door, expressionlessly waited for the person to arrive. Before long, Chu Yun first saw her cousin's face, noticing there was someone else behind him. Eyes looked toward the back. She suddenly clenched her snow-white hands. Her soft body became stiff, because she saw an extremely familiar face, a face she could never forget in this lifetime, a face she couldn't clearly say whether she loved or hated. Cousin, Chu Yang's eyes looked at Chu Yun with doubt. He felt that his cousin's condition had a problem, but he couldn't say what the problem was. Seeing his cousin not responding, Chu Yang still introduced Wang Yu first. His name is Wang Yu. He's my friend, also my senior. It's just that he graduated 2 years ago. He came for an interview. Chu Yang deliberately emphasized his tone on the 2 words interview, wanting his cousin to understand his meaning. I looked at the woman before me. My gaze was somewhat unnatural. The person before me was very familiar, because this was my ex-girlfriend, and also my first girlfriend after entering university. It could be said to be my first love, going out to look for work and still running into an ex-girlfriend. This was really something. Unluckily, it happened to be Chu Yun, not the type of ex-girlfriend with a fierce personality. Chu Yun's emotions were stable. She cared quite a bit about face. She wouldn't do anything excessive. I rated her danger level as D. The interviewees went in. Chu Yun released her hand that had been clenched white. Her gaze was calm. She turned and went inside. Whether it was feigned calmness or true calmness, only Chu Yun knew. Just now, the 2 of them looked at each other for only 2 seconds. Chu Yang's heart jumped. That uneasy feeling grew stronger and stronger. His heart beat wildly, but he didn't know what to worry about. Yet seeing his cousin had already gone inside, he didn't have time to think much more. Let's go in first. Senior, I nodded. With a natural expression, I stepped forward. In total, I had weathered many storms in matters of the heart. The panic just now was only because I wasn't mentally prepared. Just an ex-girlfriend. It wasn't enough to throw me into disarray. Sit casually. Chu Yun sat properly on a single chair. Before her was placed a small table. On it was a laptop. When everyone sat in their seats, Chu Yun looked toward the first person on her right. She actively asked, "Let's start with you." Being looked at by Chu Yun, the young man stood up. With a tense expression, he handed over his resume with both hands. He began introducing himself. My name is... When he finished introducing himself, the 2 of them simply asked each other a few questions. Chu Yun nodded without any emotional fluctuation. It was impossible to tell if she was satisfied or dissatisfied. The young man sat back in his original seat, comforting himself inwardly. Not being rejected immediately meant there was still hope. The subsequent interviews proceeded in an orderly manner, until only I remained. Chu Yun's gaze shifted over. It was also the first time she looked at me after entering. Resume. I stood up. I walked before Chu Yun, revealing a polite smile. I held out a USB drive. Inside are also my photography works from the past 2 years. You can take a look. Chu Yun reached out to receive the USB drive. At this moment, the 2 people's gazes met directly for the second time. I looked into her eyes. I couldn't quite read her emotions. Chu Yun's eyes seemed covered by a thick layer of fog, making it hard for me to see clearly. Before, when Chu Yun looked at me, in her eyes, besides smiles, there was care. Now her temperament was also much colder than before. That soft feeling had diminished considerably. It seemed to have become like this after that night, one night after the end of freshman year vacation. Chu Yun ran to my rented room in heavy rain. Her entire body soaked and cold, she hugged my waist. Her hand clutched her household registration booklet tightly. Her whole body was trembling. With red eyes, she said the first sentence. They don't agree. Let's run away together. I hugged Chu Yun without answering, carefully drying her body that had become so cold. That night, I lowered my head to look at her sleeping face. I stayed awake until the morning light shone through the window. I said the first sentence. Let's break up. I just felt Chu Yun's mind had some problems, trading 2 people for 1 person. No matter how you traded, she would be at a loss. The memories in my head flashed by quickly. The 2 of us only looked at each other for 1 second. I smiled and said, "Take a look." I had been through so many separations. I wouldn't easily become sentimental like ordinary people. Chu-yoon didn't respond. She silently plugged the USB into the computer. She opened the folder to look. After a while, Chu-yoon's gaze became gentle, without the cold tone from before. You've been abroad taking photos for the past 2 years? Been abroad taking photos. I nodded. These photos. I would also post them on foreign social media accounts, because there was no way to manage the account. The account's ability to make money was poor. I couldn't receive any orders either. And that's why I thought about returning home to develop in a place with more acquaintances. Yang felt the atmosphere was somewhat off. The conversation between the two seemed to have no problems, yet it was full of problems everywhere, especially my explanatory tone. It was exactly like a fickle man explaining to his girlfriend, yet the two of them didn't know each other at all. Why was there this feeling? How strange. Yang didn't think that far, because he knew his cousin was a firm non-marriage advocate. She fundamentally didn't care about men. He also truly couldn't imagine what his cousin's face would look like when caring about a man. Chu-yoon closed the laptop. She gave the classic post-interview answer. You all can go back and wait for notification. I took out my phone. I checked the time. 5 p.m. I took back the USB. Just as I was about to leave, I saw Yang squinting and winking at me. That look seemed to be saying, rest assured. Leave the job matter to me. I smiled. My nerves made me laugh mysteriously. I returned a look. Remember to treat me to a meal later. Not caring whether Yang understood or not, I left dashingly. Yang lowered his head, pondering the meaning of my final glance. He thought for a long time. He still didn't understand. Never mind. I had friends anyway. He wouldn't keep thinking about it. He could just ask directly later. It wasn't like he was a woman. No need to guess thoughts. After all the interviewees left, Chu-yoon leaned against the desk, one hand propping up her chin in a lazy posture. She casually said, when did you meet him? Just met in the elevator. Yang knew him referred to Wang Yu. At this moment, he understood clearly in his heart. The two really did know each other, but from the behavior just now, Yang also couldn't say for sure what relationship the two had. Chu-yoon gently let out a breath. Yang's answer just now was within her expectations. Wang Yu still had the same personality as before. Wherever he went, he could blend in with everyone, whether men or women, especially after breaking up with her. She often heard about me having unclear emotional relationships with some women. That final glance. Was he saying to remember to treat me to a meal later? Cousin. Yang was a bit alarmed. He seemed to see a flash in his cousin's eyes, a trace of resentment. Could the two have a grudge? Could it be that the senior had wronged his cousin's close friend? No wonder his heart beat wildly at the entrance gate. Now he didn't dare speak well of me to Chu-yoon. No other way, they already had a grudge. What else could be said? Chu-yoon squinted and asked another question. If you have nothing later, I'll take you to a dinner gathering in a bit. No, I have something. I have to treat a schoolmate to Haidilao later. Yang suddenly remembered. In the elevator, he had promised something to the senior, thinking the senior and his cousin might have a grudge. He didn't dare say he had an appointment with me. Chu-yoon went into her office. When she came out, her hand held a discount coupon. I have a Haidilao discount coupon here. Take it and use it. Yang was somewhat confused as he received the discount coupon. Normally, his cousin wasn't this thoughtful with him. Usually, if there was nothing, his cousin would wave her hand, telling him to go somewhere else to cool off. How could it be like this now? Today my cousin took the wrong medicine. Then it's nothing. I'll go ahead. Yang originally came to borrow money, but after meeting me, he no longer needed to borrow money. Watching Yang leave, Chu-yoon gripped her car keys tightly. Her heart held some hesitation. She felt Yang and I would go eat. We might talk about her matters. After hesitating for a while, she still decided to go eavesdrop a bit. She wanted to know in Wang Yu's heart what kind of image she was. She changed into another set of clothes, put on a hat and wore sunglasses, headed toward the parking garage. Standing on the street, I stretched. I didn't know if I could pass the interview or not. Passing would certainly be best. After all, it was another very good option. I felt my pocket. Suddenly, a vibration came through. I took out my phone to answer the call. Senior, have you gone far? Not far. I am on the street across from the office building. Wait for me a bit. I'll come over to treat you to a meal. This kid could actually understand my glance. I was somewhat surprised in my heart. Before long, I saw Yang on the opposite street. Yang was jogging toward me. In his eyes was the characteristic clarity of a university student. Arriving before me, Yang took a breath. He suggested, Senior, let's go eat Haidilao. Sure, whatever. According to your consumption standard is fine. I waved my hand indifferently. I asked, how much is your monthly living expenses? Although Yang looked like his family wasn't bad. After all, he was still a student. Treating me to a meal, the thought was enough. 4,000 a month. Yang patted his chest. Senior, don't worry. Now it's the beginning of the month. I just received my living expenses. This was the confidence that the start of the month brought him. The most confident moment for every university student. Not bad. Not bad. I patted Yang's shoulder. I felt somewhat emotional in my heart. So this is a rich kid. Back when I went to university, I relied completely on myself. I was a child who came from an orphanage. At 18, graduating high school, I could only rely on myself, relying on scholarships, student loans, part-time work to support myself. After Yang called for a car, he stood for a moment. He couldn't help but look toward me. Senior, Do you have a grudge with my cousin? What makes you think that? I smiled and stared at Chu Yang. Right now, I really wanted to see the structure of Chu Yang's brain. What exactly was his train of thought? To be able to deduce that Chu Yun and I had a grudge. During the interview, Chu Yun and I didn't speak more than a few sentences in total. Could it be that after I left, Chu Yun spoke badly of me in front of him? That shouldn't be. She wasn't that type of person. Just a feeling. Don't jump to conclusions based just on feelings. I changed the subject. Is that scammer girl pretty? It's not about whether she's pretty or not. She's a very rare type. Chu Yang tried to describe, but his vocabulary was limited. Her smile is very beautiful. Every time she gets drunk looking for my friend is always very happy. Seeing her drunk, calling my friend's name, my friend is moved to death. Stop describing. Batman will come beat you to death later. No more talking about this. The two of us got in the car, inside the Haidilao restaurant. I put a plate of tripe into the red hot pot. I asked the question, do you know? What's the key point that makes people unable to give up a scammer? Girl? Chu Yang lowered his head thinking for a moment. He gave an answer. Pretty? Wrong. I had a serious expression. I tapped the table, signaling Chu Yang to continue answering. Chu Yang's eyes suddenly lit up. They understand men? Wrong. Chu Yang wasn't willing to give up and answered again. They rely on Pua. Still wrong. I showed disappointment. I looked at him as if iron couldn't become steel. I am asking about the key point. This type of question anyone can answer. Have you really thought about it? Do you really think I am helping you just for a meal? Being looked at with disappointment by me, Chu Yang felt somewhat ashamed in his heart, felt he was a bit too stupid. I leaned back disappointedly against the cushioned chair, wearily said, there's a fruit tea shop next door. Go buy me a cup. I'll tell you. All right, senior. Chu Yang hurriedly nodded. He stood up and went outside. The feeling of self-blame made him want to salvage his image in the senior's heart. I have a simple mind. I can use my heart to learn. I sat up straight, watching Chu Yang walk out of Haidilao's main entrance. In my heart I sighed, so easy to fool. No wonder he became someone's backup wallet right after entering university. This type of simple-minded, rich scammer girl could smell him from a mile away. Senior, the fruit tea is back. Chu Yang held a cup of fruit tea, placed it on the table in front of me, sat back properly in his original seat. I looked straight into Chu Yang's eyes. The Pua just now belonged to a very low-level tactic. It could be called lowering type Pua. The core driving force is self-blame psychology. They will lower you. They will scold and say how oppressed they are, making you feel inferior, making you have thoughts of compensation. Chu Yang's face was stunned. He had just been pua'd without feeling it. Ah. Can pua happen between friends too? I saw the shock in Chu Yang's eyes. I explained, humans have emotions. As long as I stimulate your emotions, you won't think rationally. Many scam tactics can actually be seen through at a glance. But as long as your emotions are stimulated, you'll sink deeper and deeper. This type of push-pull tactic. Some parents also use it. Their starting point might be good, but that suffocating feeling is the same. Chu Yang digested my words. He nodded. I understand. I took a sip of fruit tea. I smiled and guessed. That scammer girl. Does she often get angry for no reason? That's right. Chu Yang's expression was embarrassed. I hit the mark. Getting angry for no reason made you worried and anxious, then half-jokingly said, whoever cares for her buys her a phone. She'll agree to start holding hands and dating. If it weren't for last time when she was drunk, you discovered she already had a new phone in her bag. You would still be fooled in the dark until now. This type of woman, in the early stage, will quite actively provide emotional value to you, making you feel you've met a woman who likes you. In the middle stage, they'll establish a good persona. For example, kind, thrifty, doesn't like spending money, feels sorry for men in current society, or has a pitiful past, making you like and feel sorry for her more. The final stage, they'll use various methods to destroy your confidence, making you feel being able to be by her side is your luck. Reaching the final harvest stage, they'll constantly deliberately pick fights and give you the cold shoulder, making you worried and anxious, subtly suggesting you transfer money. I talked until my mouth was dry. I took another sip of fruit tea. I teased, you're now at the final big stage, basically ready to be harvested. Have you been following your friend's emotional process, haven't you? Chu Yang's eyes widened like he'd seen a ghost, because everything matched what I said, basically 80 to 90% accurate. I smiled faintly and said, I don't need to follow along, as long as the girl isn't ugly. This trick is enough to hook most men wagging their tails. What about those types who stay at home a lot? Or introverted men can also be hooked, right? Chu Yang suddenly thought of his otaku roommate. He felt this type of person wouldn't be manipulated by women, because his roommate only liked 2D characters. I burst out laughing. Introverted guys, especially virgins, are even easier to hook. Just need to confirm the gender and it's settled. Most of them are easy to catch. Just need to find out their interests. Then you can hook them however you want. Likes playing games, then add his Steam account. Play games with him. Likes watching anime, then add his Bilibili account. Learn about the anime he likes. Chat about anime with him. Likes reading novels, then go read the novels he likes. Talk about the novels he likes. Girls just need to chat sincerely. Not be annoying, the relationship will progress extremely fast. By then, occasionally care about the guy a bit. Act cute, get jealous randomly. Say a few teasing, ambiguous words. Make his heart flutter. Even imagine all sorts of things. Finally, The girl actively expresses her feelings with this combo set. I guarantee those virgin introverted guys will be so enchanted they won't know east from west, even more than fish needing bait. After hearing this combo set, Jiang expressed he was breaking out in a cold sweat. Don't think so much. Not all women are bad. Let's eat first for now. Seeing Jiang not moving his chopsticks, I called out, Miss, how many people? One person, right? Yes. Hearing the voice, I turned my head to look. Behind me, a woman sat on the cushioned seat. The woman wore a white hat, sitting alone at a table, because her back was to me. I didn't know what the woman looked like. In my heart, I laughed. Coming to eat Haidilao alone. How lonely. Senior, you understand Pua so well. Have you been pawed by women, or have you pawed women? Jiang ate a few bites casually. Couldn't help but curiously ask. I leaned back against the soft cushion, lazily said, been pawed by a woman, but she didn't succeed. Was it your first love? Jiang revealed a curious expression. My first love? Didn't know that kind of thing. I want to know what my first love was like. Jiang nodded rapidly like a pecking chicken. He really wanted to hear about the senior's love story, especially the first love. What kind of woman exactly could attract someone like the senior? I took out a toothpick from the toothpick box, bit it in my mouth, stared at Jiang, sitting across from me, revealed a meaningful smile. When I first met her, she gave me the feeling of a Jiangnan goddess. Her face often wore a faint smile. Her temperament was gentle and quiet. Senior, were you attracted by this temperament? Jiang imagined a bit, shook his head. I feel it doesn't quite match your temperament, according to his thinking. I should like someone a bit more extroverted, a bit more active. The woman behind me was listening secretly with perked ears. When she heard Jiang's latter sentence, she bit down hard on her teeth. Suddenly, she felt this cousin was a bit annoying. It's not entirely due to temperament attraction. I paused for a moment, said the standard answer. The main reason is still that she's beautiful, skin white as snow, slim waist and long legs, beautiful figure. So it was for such a reason that you approached me. Yun bit her lip, her cheeks flushed pink. In her eyes behind the sunglasses flashed a trace of embarrassed anger. Isn't there any other reason? For example, something about the inner self. While thinking this, Jiang helped her ask the question in her heart. Is it just that simple? No feeling of love at first sight? Or did she not want to marry? Hearing her cousin help her ask, Yun's resentment toward her cousin lessened a tiny bit. You've watched too many romance TV shows and novels, using the kind of eyes that look at a fool to look at Jiang. In reality, there's no such thing as love at first sight. Those people who say they fell in love at first sight, 9 out of 10 people are seeing beauty and becoming lustful. Jiang continued to ask, then senior, what method did you use to pursue her? To say it is very simple. I revealed a smile. You must treat the woman you like as a goddess. Just treat her as a goddess. If you treat a girl as a goddess, in this lifetime you can only worship her. Treat her like that. Then you can romance her. Jiang's eyes widened. His spirit was shaken. So this is the method of a romance master. Indeed, not something a mortal like me could think of. Yun's gaze was puzzled. Back then, when I pursued her, I was straightforward, completely unlike other male students who were timid, or deliberately showing off my family background in front of her. Jiang took out his phone, opened the notes, wrote down the famous quote, knowing Jiang had never seriously dated. I then spoke about the real difficult point. Compared to pursuing a woman, I feel maintaining feelings is the most troublesome and difficult. Why say that? In Jiang's foolish eyes, doubt suppressed them. Isn't all things difficult at the beginning? 2 people are already together. Isn't it just love full of sour stench? Difficult at the beginning. That's because the girl has no interest in you. If she's interested in you, you just go with the flow. In my heart, I was truly at a loss for words. So this is the concept of a single dog? But love fundamentally isn't any sour stench. It's the smell of oleander flowers, these words of mine. Yun heard and secretly nodded. She felt what I said, had no problem. If she didn't like someone, don't mention difficult beginning. She wouldn't even give a beginning. While thinking this, Yun's beautiful thin willow eyebrows suddenly stood up. Her lips tightened. Both cheeks puffed up, because she heard me complaining about her personality. Senior is so lucky. The person you like also likes you. Facing Jiang's envious gaze, I waved my hand. Liking me isn't wrong, but my first love is thin-skinned. Talking and doing things all like to be proud. Can't pull down her face. Everything has to be me actively expressing when we first got together, unless special circumstances. Even holding hands with her had to be where there were no people. She's also particularly petty, likes to be jealous. If I talk to other female students for more than 10 seconds, she'll have an expressionless face and get secretly angry. Really? Just as I was talking with interest, Jiang was listening intently, suddenly heard the sound of something falling to the ground. The sound immediately attracted the attention of the waitstaff. They approached beside Yun, carefully asked if Yun was injured. Yun lowered her head to look at the white bowl she accidentally dropped, calmed her mentality that was about to explode. She silently shook her head, signaled she was fine. If I discovered her existence now, she wouldn't even have the courage to continue living in this country. The commotion just now made me turn my head to look. Seeing nothing was wrong, I paid no more attention. Senior, saying that, I also understand a bit why maintaining feelings is difficult. This type of gentle on the surface, actually arrogant young lady is difficult to live with. Jiang had no idea at all. These words of his had already touched a woman's sore spot. Actually, she's not really difficult to live with. I sighed. Said honestly, although she's thin-skinned, doesn't like being too proactive, but when feelings really have problems, she won't spare anything. Being petty is only directed at me, and other women getting too close. Normally, whether with people or matters, she has a generous attitude. Chu-Yun lowered her head. Her long hair covered both sides of her cheeks, her round thighs closed together, both hands supporting both sides of her body. In her heart, waves of warmth flowed through, even though they'd broken up. Her image in Wang Yu's heart was still overall good. While feeling moved, she heard Chu Yang's voice again asking for death. Senior, have you finished eating? Chu Yun expressionlessly left the cushioned seat, paid and left the shopping mall. After she returned to her car, she took out her phone from her bag, called Chu Yang's parents, first politely greeted uncle with a few sentences, then talked about meeting Chu Yang by chance, added that she accidentally heard something, made a mountain out of a molehill saying foot massage was prostitution. When she heard uncle's voice become grinding teeth, an expression of uncontainable anger, Chu Yun kindly helped her cousin speak a sentence. Puberty. Restless psychology is very normal. It might be that Aunt gave too much living expenses, having idle money and couldn't control himself. Just give less money. Little Yun, thank goodness for you. If really let this brat do this kind of disgraceful thing, I really don't know what to do. It's nothing, uncle. Uncle should still call Chu Yang first, after politely exchanging a few sentences. Waiting for the elder to hang up, Chu Yun extended her slender finger, opened the contacts interface, stared at a phone number in a daze. The phone number was Wang Yu's. This number was left during this afternoon's interview. She had my old phone number, but since breaking up, never called. According to her speculation, my old phone number might no longer be in use. After silently staring for a while, Chu Yun still called through. The phone rang for a while. Very quickly, the phone was answered. She held the phone and gently said, "Hello. What's up?" I stepped out of Haidilao's main entrance, holding my phone in my hand. Chu Yang wasn't following beside me. Just now, Chu Yang received a call, then hurriedly left, making me still a bit confused until now, while wondering. I received Chu Yun's call. Chu Yun felt inexplicably happy in her heart, because from my reaction to answering the phone, she could tell. I might still remember her phone number. Come sign the employment contract tomorrow. I passed the interview? Your ability is much stronger than those people. Choosing you is the right answer. Moreover, you don't have a job now. I am not a fool. I naturally heard the meaning in Chu Yun's words, even if my ability wasn't that outstanding. But since I don't have a job now, she would still choose me. Chu Yun's voice came through the phone again. Our side starts work at 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, you come over at 10. Is fine. I lowered my head thinking for a moment, then agreed. Our side is a small company, although there aren't many rules. But based on your previous reputation at school, I have to say one thing. Chu Yun thought of the other women in the company. Her hand gripping the phone tightened a bit. She warned, our side doesn't allow office romance. I don't hope to have two people in the company getting involved, affecting work conditions. I thought it was some kind of rule. I responded, I won't. Hung up. Chu Yun felt a bit tired. She closed her eyes, leaned back in the seat, recalled recent events. A month ago, because she didn't want to be taken by her parents to meet some young man, she left home, came to Jiangcheng City, relying on money earned from doing self-media in university, bought a duplex here, thinking that in the future, she wouldn't inherit the family's agarwood business. She returned to her old profession from university days, opened a self-media company. Due to buying a house exhausting 70 to 80% of her savings, she started looking for investors, excluding those with bad intentions. There weren't many options to choose from. Fortunately, her luck was very good. She met a generous partner, not only willing to provide money and location, but also didn't interfere with her management decisions for the company. That partner's only requirement was 51% shares, and at that time there weren't many choices. She also agreed to accept. After signing the contract, after completing all procedures, started recruiting personnel. The partner helped recruit 3 people, some full-time, some part-time. Those people all had one thing in common. They were all women, and all were extremely beautiful. Beautiful. The woman felt strange in her heart, but she didn't say anything. After all, she was the major shareholder, and those women weren't useless people either. More or less, all had connections or abilities, plus herself and the partner. A total of 5 people. At the current stage, it was enough. Thinking about how I would come to work tomorrow, Chu Yun opened her eyes. Her beautifully curved chest rose and fell. She breathed out, just about to drive home. The phone rang. Staring at the 3 words, Sister Chin, on the phone, she didn't hesitate, answered. This Sister Chin was that partner. In the coming time, I'll add 1 more person to your side. You don't need to pay that person's salary. To you arrange as you see fit. A cold, authoritative voice came through the phone. I'll arrange it. Chu Yun pondered for a moment, didn't ask anything more. Also those companies on the 28th floor. Tomorrow they'll move out. By then you can allocate the 28th floor as you wish. Right now, the company is still in the startup phase. There's no need to make such a large location. That office building is all mine. I don't want to rent the building out. Chu Yun was silent. Could she still refuse? As long as the boss is happy. The next day, I arrived at the office building at 9:50, stepped into the office building lobby, walked toward the elevator area. Due to arriving rather late for work, there were very few people in the elevator area. The elevator door slowly closed. A tall figure wearing gold-rimmed glasses, suddenly jogged to the elevator door position. Initially, I didn't pay attention, just considered the other party also a normal working person. My eyes casually swept across the woman's restrained face. My indifferent gaze gradually became frozen, because I knew the woman before me. The relationship was also extremely complicated. The two of us were not only student and supervising teacher, we also lived together for a not short period of time. Most importantly, it was also with her help. From a boy full of theoretical knowledge, I evolved into actual combat. That year, Chu Yun had a conservative personality. This kind of thing, though not necessarily having to wait until the wedding night, but also had to get parents' approval. Later, she disregarded her parents' opposition and still had to be with me. I no longer had that intention, mainly couldn't bear facing a woman who liked me, taking her body, and breaking off relations with her parents, then both of us not even finishing university, leading her to run out to work and suffer hardship. I couldn't do this thing. Noticing there was a female in the elevator, Lin Tao's refined, restrained face, a trace of hard-to-detect resistance flashed across. She unconsciously stepped back, not wanting to be in a confined space alone with a strange man. But when her gaze swept across the male's masked face, her footsteps about to change to another elevator suddenly stopped. Noticing my gaze, realizing she hadn't mistaken the person, Lin Tao laughed coldly in her heart. She stepped into the elevator and yanked off my mask. Her eyes full of meaning stared at the fickle man before her. What a coincidence, Miss Lin. I didn't think we could meet like this. Knowing there was no way to avoid it, I braced my spirits, pretended to greet her casually. The woman before me wasn't easy to provoke. In her hands, she had a pile of things that could make me socially dead. Not only knowing the study materials in my computer, she had also looked through my browser history. If she exposed it, the title of fickle man I had could be removed, because I could upgrade to pervert. I rated Lin Tao's danger level as S. After graduation, you changed your phone number and wet chat without a word. What do you mean? Lin Tao's gaze was sharp. First launched an attack on the fickle man before her. It sounded like the feeling of a lowly woman. My face remained unchanged, casually brushed it off. At that time, I didn't think that much. Just wanted to quietly go abroad and have some fun. Could only explain it like that. Couldn't say. I provoked a powerful woman. It was afraid of being stabbed, so went abroad to hide for 2 years, using this kind of excuse to brush me off. Lin Tao inexplicably felt oppressed in her heart. She dug up my dark history. HMPH. Back then, don't know which male it was buried in my heart. Said, if possible. Really wanted to die right here. This kind of words in some special situations, I could say without any burden, just treating it as words to coax women to be happy, but now clearly wasn't a special situation. Now being brought up in front of the person involved, my breathing became steady. A subtle feeling of shame welled up in my heart. Is it wrong for men to like big ones? Is it illegal? Whether from instincts remaining from infancy or from biological genetics, this was all normal. After comforting myself for a while, I threw the feeling of shame out of my heart, said honestly. At that time I had this thought, and now I still have this thought. Seeing her offensive blocked by me, Lin Tao laughed coldly, took out a bigger scandal. At that time, my body wasn't comfortable. That time of the month arrived. Also don't know which fickle man secretly took my black stockings, did things that couldn't be spoken of. The two of us lived together for 1 winter break and 1 summer break back then. She could be said to know clearly some of my unmentionable preferences. After I heard, my whole body's muscles tensed, my toes and my shoes slightly curled. Fine. Digging up my dark history behind my back, right? Alright, I'll dig up dark history too. No one should think about it. Being comfortable. I stabilized my spirit, counterattacked. The student was really quite bad, but that teacher was also a bad teacher. I remember one day the student had a high fever. The body had no strength. That supervising teacher secretly took the student's jacket, hid in the bathroom. Also don't know what she did. Can't say anymore? Lin Tao's breathing immediately became urgent. The blush on both cheeks spread to the base of her ears, taking advantage of her revealing a weak point. I gripped this supervising teacher's hands tightly, lifted up one of her hands. Was it this hand that secretly took the clothes? After saying that, I lifted up Lin Tao's other hand. Suspiciously, I remember it was both hands doing bad things. That hand secretly took the clothes. What bad thing did this hand do? Lin Tao forcefully yanked her hands, but I was gripping very tightly. Couldn't yank them back. Immediately in her eyes, mist covered over. Choked up. You only know how to bully me. You previously promised my mother. Said you wouldn't bully me. Seeing Lin Tao about to cry, I came to my senses, released her hands, rationally shut my mouth, being made hot-headed by the feeling of shame. Lin Tao wasn't like Chu Yun, soft outside but hard inside. Her appearance was mature and intellectual, but her inner self might be much weaker than her appearance. Actually being weak was fine, but nothing could stop her from liking to argue with me. Usually she would start it, constantly harassing me with words from the side. Later, I couldn't stand the harassment, slightly used force to counterattack. She would immediately cry and say she wouldn't play anymore, belonged to the demon envoy who was bad at playing but liked to play. After being silent for a while, I took out my phone, according to memory, dialed that number, realizing her phone was ringing. Lin Tao took off her gold-rimmed glasses, wiped her eyes that were about to overflow with tears. She sulkily turned her back, not letting me see her face. Calming her mood a bit, she didn't look at who was calling, just answered. Gently said, Hello. I didn't forget what I promised. The phone and behind. At the same time, a warm voice rang out. Lin Tao turned around in a daze, hand holding her glasses. Red eyes shouted, I am not crying. Which eye of yours saw me crying? I don't think I still care about you. Back then, the breakup was proposed by me, although emotions were still agitated. But compared to the about-to-cry face just now, much better. I put away the phone, coaxing a child, said, all right, all right, all right. You're not crying. You also don't care about me. Back then, the breakup was also proposed by you. I am the poor wretch who got dumped. A woman venting emotions, no matter how old she is, basically all like a sulking child. Lin Tao felt a bit embarrassed in her heart. She put back on her gold-rimmed glasses, straightened her restrained face, lightly cleared her throat, seeing she had stabilized. I then thought about still having to go to work. I pressed the floor button, felt a bit annoyed in my heart, sighed, being made such a mess by her. I'm going to be late for work. Her accumulated emotions over 2 years were released, but who could help with my emotions? Before, I could still let the supervising teacher help, but now clearly there was no longer that opportunity. Lin Tao slightly moved her rosy lips, wanted to say something, but after what just happened, she couldn't quite bring herself to. The two were silent until the 28th floor, again silent until the company entrance. Lin Tao finally couldn't stand this silence. Turned to look at the bad student following behind. Why do you keep following me? Don't tell me you're working here. She knew Chu Yun was my ex-girlfriend. In a company with an ex-girlfriend, a normal person shouldn't drill forward. I had even said a sentence to her before. She and my ex-girlfriend could never in this lifetime. When hearing this sentence, she was secretly happy for a while. Not only was I heartless with my ex-girlfriend, I also didn't develop with my ex-girlfriend to the final step. I am working here. I looked at her. Suspiciously, are you also working here? If you're not a supervising teacher anymore, wasn't your dream to be a teacher? I am doing part-time operations here. Lin Tao raised her hand to adjust her gold-rimmed glasses, explained blandly. This year, I am only supervising one class. Can't be too idle. So I found part-time work. Lin Tao stared into my eyes, as if wanting to see something. On the contrary, you should know Chu Yun is here. Yesterday, it was she who interviewed. Knowing clearly Chu Yun is here, still coming here to work, you're not thinking about getting back together. Are you? Can't Chu Yun and I be normal friends after breaking up? Not all people who break up wish their ex is dead. Moreover, the salary and benefits here are good. Why can't I come? My face remained unchanged. I said calmly, I see you also don't find Chu Yun being here objectionable, although she didn't know my previous relationship with you, but back then my relationship with Lin Tao could be said to be extremely secretive. Aside from a few people close to Lin Tao's family who knew, not a single person at the university knew. After all, it was a teacher-student relationship. If it became public, although not illegal, but there would always be people gossiping. For peace and quiet, both chose to keep it secret. Not seeing any abnormal expression on me, Lin Tao turned around, used her fingerprint to open the glass door. What would I find objectionable? She and I originally didn't know each other at school, now just colleagues. I followed behind, evaluated Lin Tao's slender back figure, delicate hair bun at the back of her head, wearing simple office attire, a pair of dress pants wrapped around her jade-like round long legs. Ordinary women, if wearing this kind of clothes, basically look like salespeople or sales staff at a glance. But Lin Tao relied on her manga-level figure and the calm temperament of a university teacher, forcefully wore it with the feeling of a CEO big sister, especially combined with her restrained face. Thinking of CEO Big Sister, I immediately associated it with Yan, that girl with mental problems. Inexplicably felt a bit irritated in my heart. If this woman truly hardened her heart, she could bypass the law, killing an insignificant ordinary person. For her wouldn't be too troublesome. The two walked through the corridor one after another. Chu Yun sat on yesterday's single chair, tilted her head to look at the two latecomers. She knew the two had a teacher-student relationship. The two knew each other. No need for her to introduce anything. She didn't feel the two meeting, coming to work together had any problem. Also couldn't imagine the two had any romantic relationship. After all, it was a teacher-student identity. I shouldn't have that kind of thought. If there really was some relationship, she would go home and hide under the blanket being angry, or secretly cry alone. After breaking up, didn't everyone experience this? Got used to being angry, got used to crying too. Chu Yun looked at the laptop, without raising her head, reminded, although the company has no rule about fines for being late, but I still hope you all can be more punctual in the future. Being late is not good overall. Originally arranged to start work at 10 o'clock, was hoping they could avoid rush hour, to make their journey to the company more comfortable, not having to squeeze into the subway, squeeze into elevators, or get stuck in traffic. Yet still late now. I extended my index finger. At an angle Chu Yun couldn't see, poked the supervising teacher's willow waist, as if saying, if it weren't for you, in the elevator. Could I be late? Now it's great. Not only late, but also caught red-handed. Lin Tao made no sound and took a step forward, unconsciously distanced herself from this bad student, not wanting others to see the relationship between her and me. Lin Tao faced Chu Yun reporting some matters, then went to her office, waiting until Lin Tao returned to her office and closed the door. Chu Yun stopped what she was doing, waved at me, signaled to come closer to talk, waiting for me to come beside her. She handed out a piece of paper, lowered her voice. This is a 1-year employment contract. Take a look. If there's no problem, You can start working from today. I received the employment contract, then casually took the pen Chu Yun handed over, just about to write my name. Suddenly thought of something. Can I make an unreasonable request? Hearing it was an unreasonable request. Chu Yun's heart jumped. Her face showed no expression, but her head started to scatter wild fantasies. The current relationship between the two. What unreasonable request could I make? Could it be getting back together? Thinking of this, Chu Yun's throat became a bit dry. Her heart inexplicably felt a bit sour. Her voice hoarse. You say it first. I feel I am a bit short on money recently. Can I get an advance on half a month's basic salary? Of course, if it's inconvenient for you, you can pretend I didn't say anything. I originally didn't want to say this kind of thing, but thinking about having to rely on just over 700 yuan to last until payday, this was clearly a bit difficult. In the city center of a first-tier new city, relying on just over 700 yuan to last over a month, the difficulty was no less than wilderness survival. Chu Yun was first a bit surprised, then breathed a sigh of relief. She took out her phone from her bag, pointed out the friend request QR code. Add my WeChat. I'll transfer it to you now. Thank you. Chu Yun approved the friend request. Seeing my WeChat nickname, felt a bit at a loss for words and transferred the money. Because my WeChat nickname was Xianyu person, looking at the surface, there wasn't any big problem. But knowing my preferences, she immediately understood the meaning of this nickname. She coughed lightly. Spoke. Or should I introduce the company's current situation first? You just arrived and aren't too familiar. Also don't know what style videos you shoot. We now mainly operate an account that stopped updating 2 years ago. That account name is the same as my WeChat name. Getting to business. Chu Yun, return to normal. You can check on Douyin, understand my previous video style, and editing techniques. After I heard, I opened my phone, searched for Chu Yun's Douyin account, looking at the 9 million followers displayed on it. I was a bit surprised in my heart. Chu Yun had a big reputation at university. I looked at Chu Yun's personal interface, opened videos to watch slowly, silently watched some, considered having a general understanding. The overall style leaned toward daily life sharing, including store exploration, eating live streams, travel insights. Occasionally, there were also some beautiful photos with pleasing aesthetics. Chu Yun's videos flickered gently in her eyes. Various emotions slowly flowed through. My unreasonable request just now, if it was getting back together. She thought a bit. She could refuse. The current relationship between the two was quite good. Like a pair of friends who had known each other long. Could meet every day. Could talk every day. Not too distant, making her heart feel empty. If Wang Yu could be like her, never marrying for life, that would be even better. The top floor of a high-rise building in Madu, before a large window, there was a woman wearing old attire, lying on a chair. Under the white shirt, the full part gently rose and fell, showing the owner's mood was still quite calm. She raised a jade-like soft arm and placed it on her face, revealing an impeccable chin and red lips. The female secretary beside her secretly glanced at the infinitely beautiful body on the long chair. Her heart tightened. Her boss's body really killed both men and women. If it weren't for her firm Dao heart, she feared, she would say she regretted, not wanting to go to Jiangcheng City to work anymore. A big sister voice without any emotional fluctuation rang out. That's right. Today I went over to tell him. He suddenly regretted, even moved his hands to injure the person following me. The scene fell silent for a moment. The secretary's lowered head became even lower. I give you 1 week. Whether you use the dark path or the white path, you must make him voluntarily go over there. Can you do it? The secretary knew she had no choice, said quietly, I can do it. You see how scared the little secretary has become. Such a strong personality is difficult. No wonder Wang Yu was scared by you and ran away. Under Qin Yan's white shirt, the full part rose and fell violently once. The shirt buttons seemed about to be shot apart by intense emotions. She lowered her arm, revealed her phoenix eyes, looked toward the girl in a black dress beside her, used a voice difficult for ordinary people to hear clearly and murmured, Don't talk to me. Actually, he doesn't even want you anymore. Why not give up on him? Just a man. It's no need to miss him this much. Not the same. Precisely because he's like you with an abnormal mind. Not a normal person. Seeing Miss Qin had no reaction. The girl in the black dress lowered her head, whispered in Qin Yan's ear, to be honest. He doesn't want you. Might as well destroy him then. No need to think about consequences. Beat up those other women. Then burn down the orphanage along with that old woman and those kids there. Qin Yan's emotions fluctuated once. Again raised her hand to cover her eyes. If I do that, hell go crazy. The originally cute face of the girl in the black dress became slightly distorted with interest. Isn't going crazy better? By then let Wang Yu go crazy with you. The secretary saw Qin Yan talking to herself in a low voice. She knew the boss was about to start going crazy. From the table beside, took psychiatric medication, swallowed saliva. The secretary's stiff body, small hands full of scratch marks, held the medicine and brought it beside the boss, suppressing emotions. Boss, take the medicine. Take what medicine? She's not sick. She's just in a bad mood. The girl in the black dress immediately became fierce, gripped the secretary's extended hand tightly. In the secretary's view, her boss suddenly sat up, was calmly torturing her hand with an expressionless face. The secretary had anticipated this situation early on. The other free hand quickly brought it toward Qin Yan's red lips. Boss, take the medicine. Yan lowered her head to look at the pill brought over. Without any resistance, admitted, obediently swallowed it. 5 minutes later, Yan felt the girl in the black dress beside her, gradually becoming transparent, until completely disappearing. She lay back on the chair, continued closing her eyes to rest. Jiangcheng City Office Building parking garage. I carried the camera bag following behind Yun predicted. The first video after comeback if shot well, the views shouldn't be bad. After all, comeback was a topic, would naturally generate traffic. Just didn't want to create too much pressure for others. Yun bloomed a bright smile. Of course, if it fails, it's also reasonable. After all, the account hasn't updated for 2 years. Recently popular are costume change videos with a sad feeling. Lin Tao carried a bag, pushed up her gold-rimmed glasses. She calmly analyzed, this time, we choose to shoot ancient to modern costume change with regret. As long as we can evoke audience emotions, at least the traffic won't be too bad. Analyzing current market trend hotspots, then giving appropriate suggestions. This was one of the operations work. Have to trouble you then. Miss Lin. The other two recently both work from home. Don't come to the company much. Only have this part-time miss to do photography. Sorry. Yun showed an uncomfortable smile. In the future, for this kind of outdoor filming, I'll add a subsidy for you. Lin Tao said nothing more, just gently nodded. The 3 people walked all the way to Yun's white Audi. Yun sat in the driver's seat. Lin Tao didn't go sit in the passenger seat, but sat in the back seat position. I didn't hesitate. Hugging the camera bag, sat beside the supervising teacher. Yun looked toward the rearview mirror, looked at the 2 people sitting behind, saw both leaning against windows, not sitting too close together. She pursed her lips, said nothing more, thinking in her heart, when returning, let me sit in the driver's seat and drive. Then she would naturally sit in the passenger seat. That way would be much more reasonable. Lin Tao glanced at me sitting on the other side. The corners of her mouth lifted an imperceptible arc. It seems Wang Yu is still closer to me. Want to laugh so much. Can't. Must hold it in. Can't let this bad student realize my thoughts. If you let him know my thoughts, hell, definitely use this to mock me. I couldn't read minds. I didn't know what the 2 were specifically thinking. I just felt Lin Tao was a bit off. Now this bad supervising teacher most likely was thinking unhealthy thoughts. Her face had no expression, but her pure transparent ears were clearly a bit more flushed. This kind of signal from when we lived together before could represent having to submit homework, worthy of being a bad supervising teacher. On the way to work could think of this kind of thing. As for Yun, that unconscious squinting and pursing lips, definitely plotting some small thoughts that couldn't be spoken. If it were before, most likely wanted to guide conversation or calculate others. I felt Yun had no motive to calculate me. From 2 days of contact looking down, Yun should have already let go of past matters, not thinking about reconciliation or revenge, even if there were some feelings. Also, not enough to change her current life situation, much less make her do irrational things. The whole journey was peaceful. Arrived at a famous ancient architecture location in Jiangcheng City. Because they had to shoot costume changes, had to change clothes midway. Yun planned near the scenic spot to rent an hourly room, just stepping into the hotel. The 3 immediately attracted some gazes in the hotel. Are these 2 women stars? Recently, the tourist area also hasn't heard news of any filming. Oh, no makeup. Their looks can still hit like this. Don't just look at those 2 girls. That masked man, I think, is also not bad. I was already familiar with this situation. The 3 walked to the reception desk. Yun took out her ID from her bag and placed it on the reception desk. Rent an hourly room for 4 hours after completing procedures. The receptionist's gaze was strange. Watched the 3 walk toward the elevator. One person renting an hourly room could understand is going to shower and rest. 1 man and 1 woman renting an hourly room. Most likely a couple doing couple exercises. You guys, 1 man and 2 women renting an hourly room. How, what do you mean? Playing really wild. The 3 people in the room put down luggage. Yun sat on a chair suspiciously. Why, when I said to rent an hourly room? Those people's gazes were very strange. Could hourly rooms have some dark implications? She wasn't a fool who didn't understand the world. Asking now? Just wanted to get an answer. I stood before the window, casually pulled down the curtain, said indifferently, men and women renting hourly rooms together. Besides that kind of thing, what else could it be? These people think our relationship isn't normal. Is that so? Yun's willow eyebrows lightly raised, also showed no embarrassment at being misunderstood, just felt a faint annoyed feeling in her heart. Like this, if some busybodies secretly photographed and posted online making things up, there would definitely be some trouble. Seems in the future must pay attention to this issue. In the future, when renting hourly rooms, just go alone. Seems you understand the way in this quite well. Lin Tao found the key point for my answer. Under the gold-rimmed glasses, eyes held a faint interrogative look. Now she seemed to have turned back into a strict teacher, an atmosphere serious and grave. Kid, do you often take women to rent rooms? Felt Yun was using her gaze, present or not. Looking at me, my expression was as usual. Said frankly, I'm not some pure male student. Understanding these things, isn't that very normal? If I said I didn't understand anything, you all wouldn't believe it either. I've only rented an hourly room once. That time was making an appointment with an online friend to meet in real life. Basically, from the photos, she still looked very beautiful. At least could make this picky fickle man take action. When we met, could only say it was hard to put into words, although not ugly. But the difference from the innocent cute face in the photos was too great. Facing this fraudulent behavior, I was resolute. Rejected the enthusiastic pleas of that online friend. Online love has risks. Meeting requires caution. Hearing my answer, Chu-yun felt a bit uncomfortable in her heart, but couldn't show it, like eating a sour lemon, yet couldn't let others discover it. She raised her hand to brush hair by her ear, lifted the bag of clothes at her feet, smiled. Let's stop talking here. I need to change clothes now. Then I'll go out first. I naturally heard the dismissal in her words. Originally being a fickle man, nothing embarrassing to say. I also didn't want to set up, for myself, the persona of a pure male student. Sometimes wearing the title of fickle man really wasn't good when interacting with women, would be unconsciously guarded against and distanced, even scolded and despised. But as long as you can wear the title of fickle man and still win women over, you'll have much less trouble. Because women in situations knowing clearly you're flirtatious and promiscuous, still willing to have some relationship with you, then in that woman's heart, she must already have some preparation. Won't collapse and break defense after being cheated on. Lin Tao didn't stay in the room, followed me out together. Although she and Chu-yun were both women, not so many taboos, but people all have privacy. People must have a sense of boundaries. Seeing me at the door staring at her, Lin Tao's heart inexplicably beat a bit faster. Tried to appear calm and cold, move aside. I took a step forward. What do you want to do? Facing the bad student silently approaching, Lin Tao unconsciously stepped back. Her heart panicked while also having a trace of anticipation. I took another step forward. She had no choice. Stepped back again, until leaning against the room door. Lin Tao's body stiffened. Her fingers unconsciously gripped the hem of her clothes, revealed an indescribably tense expression. Feeling my hot breath, under the gold-rimmed glasses, her eyes immediately shut tight. Her nose slightly trembled. I tilted my head, saw the supervising teacher's originally snow-white ears become flushed, lowered my voice. What are you thinking about? Lin Tao closed her eyes, stubbornly said, nothing. Not thinking about anything. Really nothing. If you say nothing, then nothing. All right. I smiled and stepped back. No extra actions. Clearly knew my practical personality. If there really were any extra actions, that would be rewarding her in a different form. This action of mine could punish the teacher. Couldn't let her taste sweetness. As for the purpose of punishment, was to make her not randomly launch attacks in front of others for no reason. Occasionally, the two of us making a fuss in private was fine. No need to seize every opportunity to attack me. Feeling me leave, Lin Tao opened her misty eyes. In her heart first felt a bit embarrassed and angry. Then a feeling of loss welled up in her heart. Her lowered hands slightly lifted a bit, wanted to grab my collar and kiss, but under multiple factors of reason and environment, Lin Tao still lowered her hands, turned away, throat a bit dry. What do you mean? Nothing. Just now saw the teacher was beautiful. I wanted to kiss the teacher, but was afraid you wouldn't agree. I stepped back again, carefully evaluated. The supervising teacher who accompanied my entire 2 university years. First year time and feelings given to Chu-yun. After breaking up, my second year time basically revolved around the supervising teacher. Not only giving time and feelings, but also giving the first golden barrel of my life. Back then, pursuing this supervising teacher. I could have spent quite a bit of thought, because I didn't understand the supervising teacher's essence. Did quite a few meaningless things, until I carefully discovered the restlessness hidden in the supervising teacher's heart. I then had a great awakening. This type of woman, serious on the outside, sweet on the inside. If I pursued her, most likely she would run, especially since the two had a teacher-student relationship. This type of woman could only rely on arousing interest in some aspect of hers. Only this way was quite stable. Wouldn't alert the enemy. Wouldn't make her raise her guard. Understanding the direction of attack clearly, the thinking became much clearer. Originally a mature woman. Toward me, this type of good-looking male student with a good physique must have some thoughts. This type of thought might just be a flash of an idea in daily life, but was enough for me to take advantage of. Men would imagine. Women were the same, would imagine. Just that they hid it well. The subsequent operation was very simple. During one class team building, I privately invited her alone to drink. She hesitated a bit, then didn't refuse. After a relationship occurred, the supervising teacher fell into a sage time of troubled mind, temporarily called sage time. But the relationship already occurred. What could she do? The world has no regret medicine, no matter what. The two really truly had relations, then later developed feelings over time. The two lived together. The entire attack process was quite smooth, even so smooth that sometimes I suspected the supervising teacher deliberately gave opportunities, but things already happened. Too lazy to think more. Coming back to my senses, I smiled looking at Lin Tao before me. At this moment, Lin Tao lowered her eyes. In her lowered voice was a trace of anger. Did you ask me before when you kissed me? Not the same. Before our relationship was boyfriend and girlfriend, but now is supervising teacher and student. Kissing the teacher? Asking first is better? Hearing. I continuously emphasized the teacher-student relationship. Lin Tao finally understood. This fickle man clearly wanted to abandon her. Seeing my despicable appearance of only knowing how to start fires but not put them out, she only felt a boom in her head. It was her snow-white arm, forcefully reaching out to grip the fickle man's collar. The other hand also quickly hooked the fickle man's neck. used force to pull down, tiptoed and reached up. The movements extremely fast, but something embarrassing appeared. She couldn't pull me, and her height was also short by just a bit. I secretly thought, not good. Just now thought Lin Tao wanted to pull my hair. When the supervising teacher used force, I unconsciously tensed my body. Didn't want to let myself get hurt. But from Lin Tao's obvious tiptoeing, reaching up behavior, this wasn't wanting to pull my hair. This was wanting to bite me. Now being done like this by me, Lin Tao 100% would break defense from this extreme embarrassment. I only wanted to give a little punishment. Didn't think about making Lin Tao drop small pearls. As expected, not wrong. Lin Tao's beautiful eyes trembled lightly each time she blinked. The mist in her eye sockets increased by a portion, as if the next moment tears would overflow. Her restrained face first became pale. Then a patch of enchanting blush spread up. Her red lips parted slightly. In her voice held some trembling sob. Now, do I really disgust you this much? My breathing steadied, facing a person who couldn't kiss me, and the supervising teacher about to cry. A female university teacher relying on looks and temperament had extremely high popularity. Now, because she couldn't kiss me, showing this pitiful attitude. Should I continue to be hard-hearted and punish? Fine. Occasionally let her be happy a bit. She also won't frequently come bother me. The effect is the same. I raised my hand to hold Lin Tao's chin, lowered my head closer. 5 minutes later, Lin Tao used force to push me away, breathed several breaths of fresh air, adjusted her messy hair, her originally serious, calm gaze now much gentler. She said softly, go out and fix myself up. Watch Lin Tao's back figure leave. Could it be 2 years without contact with women? Resistance to women decreased. I savored a bit the feeling just now, then smelled the fragrance on myself, raised my hand to smell the clothes. Thought Lin Tao probably didn't want to expose the relationship. Also, Chu Yun's rule against office romance. I lowered my arm, walked to the corridor window, blew the cool breeze, wanted to rely on the wind to blow away the fragrance on my clothes. This kind of relationship, if it could be hidden, still better to continue hiding it. Exposing it had no benefit to myself. Now was October 15th. The weather had turned cold. Although frequently exercising, my body was stronger than many people. But the physique prone to illness couldn't be improved much. Thinking it was about enough. Just about to close the window and turn back. My shoulder was touched. With an originally not good body, this kind of dry, slightly cold weather. Still better to blow less wind. I turned around, looked at Chu Yun who had finished changing clothes, smiled, just felt a bit hot, wanted to come here and blow some wind. Chu Yun's upper body wore a white short-sleeved shirt. Below was a black pleated skirt to the knees. Her face was fresh and gentle, basically could say no makeup. Her temperament innocent and cute. She knew what she was doing. Chu Yun looked around. Didn't see that person. Where's Miss Lin? Miss Lin went to the bathroom. Probably will be back after waiting a bit. Chu Yun continued asking. Did Miss Lin knock on the door at the entrance just now? I seemed to hear the door had some sound. No such thing. The sound just now was someone next door knocking. My gaze remained calm. My expression had no flaws anywhere. The suspicion in Chu Yun's eyes didn't dissipate. She felt Wang Yu might be lying. Wang Yu's answer was too calm. So calm it made her suspect he was lying. Chu Yun suppressed the suspicion in her eyes, changed to talk about other things. She took out her phone. I'll pull you into the company work group. Take a look. I opened the group chat. The work group plus myself totaled 5 people. Summer flowers don't bloom at Xianyu person. This is the company's new photographer and editor. Everyone can say hello. If I could do it again, I'd choose milk, said. Why called Xianyu person? Are you a muscular person? Just arrived at the company. Please teach me a lot in the future. After waiting for greetings in the group to finish, Chu Yun began simple introductions. The first person to greet you is operations. The second person is company finance. Now they work from home. After we meet later, I'll introduce them directly to you. I nodded. What's the difference between this operations person and Miss Lin? Miss Lin mainly does data integration and some commercial order screening. That person is responsible for copywriting content and operating channels on other platforms. That's right. The company also has a shareholder with slightly more shares than me. Speaking halfway, Chu Yun stopped, felt talking about this person was a bit excessive, shook her head. Never mind. You probably don't know this person. The two were talking. Lin Tao with a calm expression came back from the elevator entrance. Chu Yun looked toward Lin Tao. Felt Miss Lin seemed to have some changes, although facial expression and gaze still hadn't changed. But that usual serious small feeling was gone. The atmosphere of the whole person appeared very relaxed. Miss Lin, did you encounter something happy? Feel your mood seems not bad. Hearing such a question, Lin Tao's heart skipped a beat, raised her hand to gently touch her cheek. No abnormal temperature. Before going up, she also carefully observed in the mirror. No extra traces, seeing no flaws anywhere. Lin Tao's expression was calm. Why would you ask that? I learned body language etiquette before. Even if a person's expression and gaze don't change, I can also, through subtle body language, analyze that person's mood and state. Chu Yun pointed to the path Lin Tao just walked and explained. You normally walk with force and rigidity, although your speed just now wasn't slower than normal, but that rigid attitude was gone. There was a relaxed posture. My back went numb. What kind of person was this? Even Sherlock Holmes wasn't like this. The path others walked, she could carefully analyze other people's moods and states. Lin Tao was on guard in her heart, also shocked by Chu Yun's observational power. She pulled her mouth into a tiny arch smile. Just received a call. My supervising work this year was rated excellent, so my mood is quite good. Chu Yun smiled and congratulated. Let's go shoot footage first, although it's a 10-some-second short video, but if I am not in the right state, might not be able to shoot it in a whole day. Knowing work had to be done, bringing all equipment, the three walked out of the hotel. After I walked out the door, people in the lobby whispered again. Turns out they were about to go work. Did we think too much just now? Might be internet celebrity video bloggers or something. Opening an hourly room. Should be to change clothes. Now going to shoot video. Is there a possibility the man can't perform? Can you shut your mouth? Just walked out of the hotel main entrance not long. I sneezed once. Raised my hand to touch my nose. It was nose itch, not throat itch, so not a cold. Just the air became dry. Dust in the air flew into my nose. Turned around and discovered two gazes. One unhidden looking at me. One using a sidelong glance. Chu Yun immediately looked at Wang Yu. I've got a cold? She wanted to touch Wang Yu's forehead, but thinking about the relationship between the two, doing this action wasn't very appropriate. Immediately felt a bit sympathetic in her heart. Not a cold, just my nose is a bit itchy. On Chu Yun's passenger seat was a black and white checkered scarf. The car is very close from here. You go over there and put it on now. Lin Tao pushed the gold-rimmed glasses on her nose bridge, took out a teacher's attitude of caring for students. Seriously, how is your body yourself? Why don't you know your own resistance? Chu Yun took out the car keys from her bag, placed them before Wang Yu. Car keys for you. Not refusing the two people's goodwill. I received the car keys, stepped toward the parking direction. Having people care was quite nice, compared to being sick abroad alone, going to the hospital alone, waiting in line alone, and lonely. Much better than that time. The phone suddenly transmitted a vibration. I opened the work group. If I could do it again. I'd choose milk. Igjianu person. Can you show a photo? I want to see what you look like. Pulled the car door, took the scarf and hung it around my neck, closed the car door. After locking the car, opened the work group, replied, why do you want to see my photo? If I could do it again. I'd choose milk. Said, just a bit curious what you look like. You send a selfie first. Send it in the group. If you won't show, then forget it. I don't want to see any more now either. I put away my phone. Didn't continue talking with this demon envoy. Now was work time. To Miss Lin. When you went to the bathroom earlier, did anyone knock on the door next to us? Before even reaching beside Chu Yun and Lin Tao, I already heard the question Chu Yun raised. My skin immediately rose with a thick layer of goosebumps. Was she really going home to worry about business affairs? Definitely not working at some detective agency? Asking me wasn't enough. Still had to wait for me to leave and privately ask others. I am not too clear. I closed the door and went to the bathroom. I don't know if anyone knocked on the door next to us. He's here. Chu Yun noticed Wang Yu approaching. Stopped the conversation with Lin Tao. Smiled. Let's go. Let's find a place to shoot. And why? The three then found a place with beautiful scenery. Found a good shooting angle. Determined the lens movement trajectory. Set up the diffusion cloth. After preparing everything, Lin Tao said the shooting theme once more. Me and childhood. I feel it's still missing some meaning. Chu Yun looked at the results in the camera. Felt it still lacked some meaning. Miss Lin, go help us buy some water. Let's rest a bit. Chu Yun took out her phone. Transferred money to Lin Tao for water. Her gaze was a bit tired. Physical fatigue wasn't the main point. As long as she entered work mode, she became extremely absorbed. This state consumed mental energy greatly. Lin Tao turned to find a store. Didn't say any extra words. Now she was the photography assistant. This kind of small matter was for her to do. An idea suddenly lit up in my head. Looked toward Chu Yun, suggested, do you have any prop rings? This hand of mine in the lens feels like it could wear a ring. Chu Yun stared at Wang Yu's ring finger, also suddenly enlightened. That's right. The shooting focus was on her. Attention was always on controlling facial expressions. Instead forgot this kind of small detail. Wait here for me a bit. I'll go buy one right now. Fortunately, this was a famous ancient-style tourist spot. Nearby had that kind of jewelry stall. Chu Yun casually found a small stall, chose a platinum ring with a decent style. After paying, returned to Wang Yu's side. Saw my right hand holding the gimbal, with a camera placed on it. She unconsciously lifted Wang Yu's left hand, helped him put on the platinum ring, looking at the large hand in her palm, especially the platinum ring on the ring finger. Chu Yun momentarily left work mode. Her gaze dimly stared at that platinum ring. Like this. Does it count as being married off? In her heart first felt a bit happy. Next, an extremely suffocating feeling welled up in her heart, as if pressed by a large stone, making it hard for her to breathe. What marriage? This was just her imagination. Why did they have to oppose me, if back then parents didn't oppose? Wang Yu and I would marry after university graduation. Why did it become like this? I am really unwilling. Although emotions in her heart were violently churning, Chu Yun forced a smile. Wang Yu, in the past 2 years have you thought about marriage? The past 2 years? No. Current stage also no. Looking at a ring on the ring finger, I just felt it was a bit glaring. Being a fickle man, having been through too many romantic feelings with women, now wanting to quietly find a marriage partner, seemed to be a bit quite good. I also haven't thought about it. If both of us get old and still haven't married, would you want to move in together? By then, we could take care of each other. In Chu Yun's eyes appeared some joy. This ending was the best ending she could think of currently. I looked at the joy in her eyes. Couldn't quite distinguish whether this was joking or sincere words, thinking quite seriously for a bit, things decades later. I can't say for sure. It's just if you really don't get married later and feel idle and bored, you can come find me. Form an elderly travel group. Chu Yun saw Wang Yu didn't refuse her. In her heart first felt a bit happy. Pity as decades later it'll be old. I don't know if it'll be as beautiful as now. She still remembered Wang Yu's words at Haidilao. Wang Yu because she was beautiful. Only then approached and pursued her. By then if she's not this beautiful anymore, will Wang Yu really still care about her? That's right, decades later, no matter how well she maintains herself, definitely won't be as beautiful as now. I very frankly continued her words, until Chu Yun's gaze completely darkened. I changed the direction of my words. Woman's appearance is important, still important, but the most important thing about a woman absolutely isn't appearance. Children won't hate their mother because mother is ugly. Most men's standards for finding a wife are also virtuous and takes care of home. Making friends also doesn't choose by looking at face, value personality and character more. If a woman when old is hated by people, then can only say, this person isn't good. Being enlightened by Wang Yu like this, Chu Yun's heart turned sorrow into joy, then threw out an even harder question to answer. But if most people only value inner self, then why do you often get entangled with beautiful girls? My words stopped. My expression slightly stiffened a bit. I am enlightening you. Can you not suddenly raise this kind of question? What you said, I don't even know how to respond. Chu Yun suddenly laughed. For a moment, smiled like blooming flowers. This kind of dialogue gave her the feeling of returning to 5 years ago. What are you all talking about? Lin Tao carried bags walking back, saw Chu Yun beside Wang Yu laughing. She wanted to break this kind of atmosphere, but thinking she just bit Wang Yu earlier, her mood calmed down again. Isn't it just chatting? Anya, this time seems to have bought a bit much. Nothing much. Chu Yun shook her head, changed the subject. We've also rested enough. Drink some water, let's continue shooting. Some matters don't need outsiders to know, especially people in the company. The next shoot, because Chu Yun's mentality was very good, passed in one take. Chu Yun held the camera, looked at her performance in the video, very satisfied, especially that final smile. Not fake at all, appeared extremely natural. This scene is done. I'll go, change clothes now to shoot the next scene. Let's try to finish shooting the costume scene before dark. After Chu Yun walked away, Lin Tao still couldn't hold back the curiosity in her heart. What did you just say? Nothing much. Just comforted her a bit, told her not to be too rushed when shooting. Lin Tao crossed her arms, squinted to look. Bad student even knows how to comfort people. Shoot faster. Get off work faster. Isn't that better? I looked toward the supervising teacher, stared at her rosy lips. Fortunately, they weren't swollen. Otherwise, she would have noticed. So what if she noticed? Lin Tao, with an expressionless face, stared toward the direction Chu Yun left. Isn't having less unnecessary trouble better? You're also maintaining your teacher image. I walked to beside the supervising teacher, or from now on in front of Chu Yun. Lin Tao's pure transparent ears dyed with a red color. You have no shame. I still have shame. Are you thinking nonsense again? No. I noticed the change in the supervising teacher's ears, moved closer to her ear, lowered my voice. Do you know? The more you act like a teacher, in certain moments you'll only be humiliated more miserably. Don't talk to me right now. This was unable to withstand the teasing. Lin Tao from the bag on the ground took out a bottle of cold mineral water, pressed it to her slightly hot cheek. Seeing her like this, I didn't say anything more either. The two didn't wait long. Chu Yun changed clothes and came back. The three discussed the next shooting process a bit. 2 hours later, finished shooting the footage, cleaned up the scene's belongings. The three first went back to the hotel once, got the remaining luggage, went to the spacious parking lot. Chu Yun naturally pulled open the passenger door, sat in the passenger seat, while she fastened her seatbelt, said, I am a bit tired. I don't want to drive now. Which of you has a driver's license? I just pulled the rear door without thinking, conveniently closed it, then went toward the driver's seat. Lin Tao opened her mouth, about to say she would drive, but seeing Wang Yu had already sat in the driver's seat, then sat tensely in the back seat. She felt this bad student increasingly didn't care about her, now even left her alone in the back. Dark, fickle man, started then abandoned. So angry, so angry, so angry. I placed both hands on the steering wheel, discreetly looked at the rearview mirror once, saw Lin Tao just had a tense face, and said nothing. Knew this supervising teacher had a lot of internal drama. At this moment, definitely imagining something. 80 to 90% was cursing me as a fickle man who started then abandoned. I found the air conditioning button, thoughtfully helped Lin Tao adjust the temperature, speed, and direction of the air conditioning. Miss Lin, is the air conditioning blowing like this, okay? Lin Tao's tense complexion eased slightly, blandly, just like this. Yeah. Sitting in front can still notice my feelings. Seems you always care about me. This time seems to have won again. Yeah, can't smile. Noticing Lin Tao's small expression changes, the corners of my mouth turned up, an arc easily grasped by a fickle man. In a room at the Madu office, Qin Yan sat before the desk, Her slender phoenix eyes stared at the photo on the desk. In the photo was Wang Yu helping Chu Yun take pictures. Wang Yu is back now. Do you want to go find him? Or do you want to catch him and lock him in a cage? Find some professional dog trainers to domesticate him? The girl in the black dress sat on the desk, both hands supporting both sides, not receiving a response. The girl swung her small legs, started talking to herself. I know you can hear me. You're just pretending not to hear. Back then, Wang Yu told you not to pay attention to me. Said, I was the extreme side. Following my words, people around would get hurt. You listened. The past 2 years, you've barely talked to me. Haven't done anything extreme. But aren't you lonely? Wang Yu also said something. I am also you. Aren't these thoughts of mine your thoughts? Why can't you accept yourself? Every time you're in pain and confusion, I will come out. Isn't this you wanting me to talk? Qin Yan's originally calm gaze fluctuated once. She looked toward the secretary standing beside. Go out. Your medicine, President Qin, is here. The secretary placed the medicine usually carried with her before Qin Yan, reminded once, then carefully withdrew outside. What needed to be done was done. The boss still wanted to get sick. Qin Yan looked toward the girl in the black dress. Her red lips parted. Slightly. He's back now. What now? This sentence both asked the girl in the black dress, and also asked herself, what did you originally think? Why gather those women together? The girl in the black dress squinted and smiled. Having someone to talk to made her very happy. Gift them to Wang Yu. Let him forgive me. From now on, listen to me. Qin Yan looked at Wang Yu's photo again. Her originally restless inner self became calm. She completely didn't feel there was any problem with what she just said. Just like she and her boyfriend quarreled and fell into a Cold War period. Now she wanted to save the relationship, especially investigate a bit what pets her boyfriend liked before, then catch those pets to give to her boyfriend the same. The girl in the black dress tilted her cute small head, said a bloody truth. What if he only cares about those pets? Doesn't care about you anymore. You also know he doesn't like you that much. Qin Yan strongly gripped Wang Yu's photo, lowered her eyes, whispered, he won't. He will. The girl in the black dress mercilessly exposed this self-deception behavior. You're not a fool. You just have unstable mental state. You're very smart. How much Wang Yu likes you. You know better than anyone. What now? Qin Yan's eyes became bloodshot. Her cold, beautiful face became pale. The photo in her palm. From using force. Let them fight first. Wait for someone to win. Let that person disappear. Then you go replace. The little girl jumped down from the desk, squinted and smiled. Learn the winner's way. Make the winner disappear. In the end, you are the winner. Whoever wins, I become that person. Qin Yan's emotions stabilized. Swept a glance at the empty office. Already waited 2 years. She didn't lack this bit of time. As long as the result was what she wanted. In the company, I sat on the chair. Sent the just-edited video to Chu Yun. Then leaned back waiting to get off work. WeChat suddenly had a line. Verification message. Looked at a name. Teacher Lin's name. Didn't refuse. Also had no reason to refuse. I clicked agree. Entered the chat interface. I want to eat fish. I held the phone falling into contemplation. When graduating, changed all contact methods without a word. Now Lin Tao should want after getting off work to carefully interrogate me for a while. This seemed not easy to refuse. At university, quite a few people helped me once. But Lin Tao was different. She was someone who helped several times. Go to your teacher dormitory? Under the gold-rimmed glasses, Lin Tao's eyes sparkled once. She was silent for a few seconds. Slowly typed out a line of text. I agreed without thinking. Looked at the time 5:55. 5 minutes until getting off work. Adjusted the work position. Cleaned up the floor a bit. Wang Yu clocked out and walked out of the office building. Waited at the curb for a short while. A silver-gray small car stopped ahead. Seeing Lin Tao sitting in the car, I pulled the car door and sat in the passenger seat. How about I make poached sliced fish? Add 2 salad dishes. Won't drink alcohol. Lin Tao softly hummed in agreement, her gaze much gentler. Along with that small, serious feeling also diminished considerably. Actually, she didn't really like eating fish much, besides hating the fishy smell. There was also one point, hating fish bones. But Wang Yu's poached sliced fish was different. I not only removed fish bones, the fish meat made was also completely not fishy. Eating it in the mouth was extremely soft. Hee hee. Left me for 2 years. Still haven't forgotten what I like to eat. Seems you can't forget. Me. Can't laugh out loud. Lin Tao's mouth corners slightly turned up, forcefully pressed down. How long are you planning to work here? At least work for a few years first. I don't have money on me now. Want to save up some money first. By then, if I have other ideas, it's also convenient. I smelled Lin Tao's body fragrance beside me. My complexion also gradually relaxed. Lin Tao started the car. Why did you change contact methods? Without telling me? Knew there would be this kind of question. In my heart, I complained once. Said sincerely, I not only didn't tell you, I didn't tell anyone. Back then, the thinking was very simple. Just wanted to escape social relationships a bit, go out and relax the mind. Lin Tao's 2 hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. Glanced at Wang Yu once. Really not? Truer than pearls. I turned my head to look at Lin Tao. In my eyes was all sincerity. Lying to you. Actually, I also told 2 other people. One person was a close buddy I played well with at university. One person was a compatible colleague at Qin Yan's company. Without regularly contacting these 2 people, I also wouldn't know Qin Yan's company moved from Jiang. Lin Tao parked the car before a red light. Just now was only focused on talking. Now only thought hadn't asked Wang Yu where he lived. Where do you live now? South City District, Building 7. I used my phone to locate, placed it on the phone holder before Lin Tao. Not too far from the company. Today I walked to the company. You found a job with high pay. Little work, close to home, but this job isn't as good as your previous one. Lin Tao unconsciously used the supervising teacher's tone. Felt sorry for Wang Yu. Your previous private assistant job, wasn't it quite good? If you hadn't stubbornly gone abroad to play, gritted your teeth and endured 2 years, maybe by now you'd have bought a house. I revealed a smile, leisurely said, that's right. If I gritted my teeth and continued enduring, made the boss happy, might have had everything. What's called making the boss happy? Isn't it doing work well? The leader felt these words were a bit off. She suddenly thought of a possibility. Her beautiful, restrained face turned cold, suddenly questioned. Was your previous boss male or female? I honestly said, female. Lin Tao's gaze turned cold, her tone not good. You better explain a bit. Hearing this kind of tone, I didn't answer but asked back. Do you think I am the type of person greedy for vanity, would sell my body for money? Lin Tao's complexion eased slightly, just about to shake her head and say I wasn't that type of person, but suddenly thought of a possibility. She continued with a cold face. If the selling target was very beautiful, I feel you would sell. You're really good at asking questions. My breathing steadied. Still patiently explained, not talking about whether she's beautiful or not, just from the result. Didn't I still leave that company? After hearing Wang Yu's explanation, Lin Tao knew she overthought. Thinking of this, Lin Tao sighed dejectedly. What do you think if I hadn't known you? Weren't the years knowing me happy? I feel you were quite happy. I feel the atmosphere just now wasn't bad. Why suddenly sigh? Lin Tao heard the word happy, couldn't help but associate to other places. Her pure, transparent ears slightly flushed, noticing the change in the supervising teacher's ears. I wanted to blow air into her ear, tease a little bit, but thinking she was driving. Stopped this thought. Just spoke up, asking, what are you thinking nonsense about again? Not thinking nonsense. South City, District Building 7, Floor 17. I stood before my home's entrance, took out keys to open the door. You wait in the front room. I'll go to the supermarket outside the district to buy things now. As for why not buy things outside first then come back, this was completely a habit after getting to know Lin Tao. When living together, I couldn't go out with the supervising teacher to buy things, if seen by people. Definitely couldn't hide the relationship. Lin Tao just about to answer. A girl came out from the stairwell beside. The girl held a disposable plastic box in her hand. In the box was a portion of spicy chicken. I cooked carelessly and made too much. Thought not to waste. Brought it to you. This isn't my leftovers. This I just scooped from the pot. Chen Lulu saw Wang Yu. Her eyes first brightened, appeared extremely. Facing the kind downstairs neighbor bringing food, and also Lin Tao's gradually cold gaze. In my heart I cried, bitterness untold. You cooked and made too much. Can't you put it in the fridge? We two don't seem that familiar. Speaking plainly, strangers who met once, complaining in my heart still complained, but facing the downstairs neighbor's smile and kind action, I also couldn't do anything cold. Thank you. It's just recently I am sick and avoiding certain foods. Can't eat spicy. That's right, my name is Wang Yu. I still don't know your name. I only know you're on the floor below me. Hearing this, Lin Tao's gaze returned to normal, without the cold look at the fickle man from before. My name is Chen Lulu. Chen Lulu didn't show any disappointed expression, just normally introduced herself. After introducing herself, she noticed Lin Tao, who was just blocked by Wang Yu. Chen Lulu's heart slightly jumped. For a moment just felt very pressured. How this is? Lin Tao pushed her gold-rimmed glasses, blandly. I am his older sister. If saying friends or teacher, the other party definitely wouldn't believe. Chen Lulu breathed a sigh of relief, then tactfully said, then I won't disturb you siblings anymore. After Chen Lulu entered the stairwell, until no longer hearing footsteps, Lin Tao stared at Wang Yu's handsome face. Calmly, you haven't been here long. Already neighbors are finding ways to approach you. Seems you're very popular. I smiled, held Lin Tao's small, soft, boneless hand teasingly. Then don't look at whose younger brother I am. Such a beautiful older sister. Being popular, being the younger brother can't be too bad, right? Older sister. Lin Tao just felt her heart flutter. Her tongue tip lightly trembled. In her heart welled up an indescribable feeling. Lightly yanked once. Her small hand being held found she couldn't yank free. Also let Wang Yu hold it. Led Lin Tao into the room. I released her hand. From the shoe cabinet beside, took out my slippers. Thoughtfully placed them by Lin Tao's feet. The fridge in the kitchen has water. If you're thirsty, you can go get some. I'll go buy things now. After I come back and finish cooking, it'll be about 10 o'clock. If you're hungry, you can also eat some noodles first. Food is all in the fridge. Hearing Wang Yu like an old mother meticulously arranging everything, on Lin Tao's face rarely showed a smile. You go buy things first. I turned and closed the main door, headed toward the supermarket near the district. Lin Tao sat on the living room sofa, evaluated the surrounding environment. The overall house was cleaned very neatly. Her gaze looked toward the bedroom door again. Immediately ran into the bedroom, opened the wardrobe. There weren't many clothes in the wardrobe, scattered together, totaling only 5 sets. Lin Tao suppressed the unnamed restlessness in her heart, took a fitted t-shirt and placed it under her nose, gently sniffed a bit. No familiar scent from memory. She put down the fitted t-shirt. In her heart couldn't suppress the welling disappointment. She suddenly noticed the drawer below the wardrobe. Could probably guess what this drawer contained. Most likely was underwear. Hesitated 1 second. She extended her right hand toward the lower drawer. When opening a crack, she unconsciously held her breath. Right at this moment, the phone in her pants pocket suddenly vibrated once. Lin Tao was like being frightened. With lightning-fast movements, closed the drawer, closed the wardrobe, withdrew from the room. Lin Tao sat on the living room sofa, calmed her tense mood a bit, looked at the phone once. Was a student wanting to ask for leave. Sent her a message. If you don't have a legitimate reason for this semester, don't think about asking for leave. Angrily, embarrassedly replied with a message. The small supermarket downstairs. I carried a plastic shopping basket out of the fresh food area. Just placed the plastic shopping basket before the cashier. Saw a familiar blue hair color. Shouldn't be her. How could there be such a coincidence? I just returned to Jiangcheng City, not even a week. First interviewed and met MeTruyen, then met Miss Lin again. Like this could meet one more person. I should immediately go buy lottery tickets. I shook my head, denying my thoughts. Should be the same hair color. Not Lin Susu. Like this, if it's Lin Susu, I'll have a headache, because this woman is very clingy. Also a bit shameless, if found by her. The quiet idle days might end. Lin Susu was also an orphanage child. Lin Susu and I played together at the orphanage for 3 years. Also was called brother for 3 years, until a couple came to adopt Lin Susu. Only then got quiet for a while. After that, in my junior year of university, I contacted Lin Susu again. In the end was the female chasing male that everyone enjoyed, under her shameless offensive. I had already silently taken out a mask from my bag, put it on and finished paying at the cashier, politely received the receipt from the cashier's hand, took the ingredients preparing to turn and leave. A voice rang out, "Brother." When hearing this familiar voice, immediately my gaze froze. Really was her. This luck was also really amazing. My footsteps didn't stop at all. Walking speed didn't speed up or slow down. Could I have mistaken? Lin Susa's small hand carried a milk carton. Her peach-colored heterochromatic eyes stared at that familiar back figure. Just accidentally saw that figure. She felt very familiar. Very similar to that person who suddenly disappeared 2 years ago. Couldn't suppress the curiosity in her heart. She tested by calling out, "Why should I test?" Ill directly, go look at the face. Wouldn't that work? Decided. Lin Susa's delicate small face was full of investigative expression. Rather wrongly kill, then let slip. Today this brother's face I am determined to see. She carried the milk, quickened her steps, rapidly approached that figure, hearing the footsteps behind gradually approaching. In my heart a wave of don't be stupid enough to turn around. The footsteps beneath also slightly quickened. Can't stop. Seeing that figure quicken steps, Lin Susa's gaze revealed some joy, interest in her heart. She raised her voice shouting, "Brother, don't run anymore. Only a fool wouldn't run." I quickened my steps again. What karma did I create this life to encounter such a shameless person? She widened those beautiful peach eyes, angrily defeated. Loudly, "Brother, if you run again, I'll shout obscenities." I stood still in place, pulled down the mask, helplessly turned around. "You have no shame. I still have shame. Brother." Lin Susu saw that familiar face, her gaze interested, expression extremely excited. She casually threw the milk bag in her hand on the ground, quickened her steps. Her head rammed into Wang Yu's chest, forcefully took this rocket headbutt. My chest transmitted a thud. Eyes widened, face flushed red. Felt my chest as if hit by a large man. Heavily punched once. "Can you be gentler next time?" "No. Doing this doesn't show our relationship is good. Next time, I still want to do this." Lin Susu forcefully rolled around in Wang Yu's embrace, comforted the 2 years of unyielding heart, closed her eyes, said a sentence with extremely strong offensive power. "Don't rub in my embrace anymore. You don't have anything anyway." Being stabbed by ribs, I am also uncomfortable. This sentence was extremely effective. Lin Susu immediately stopped her movements. Just her 2 hands still forcefully hugged Wang Yu. She raised her head from Wang Yu's embrace. Her gaze trembling stared at that extremely vicious mouth. "Person, what you said, is this what a human says? How can a 37.5-degree mouth say such cold words?" This moment, she just felt choked with anger. Lin Susu lowered her eyes. Sadly, "I'll tell the orphanage people. Brother, every time you're unhappy, why don't you let those ants hug? Because brother only wants those big-breasted volunteer sisters to hug." As she spoke, she slightly loosened her hands, made a sad, desperate face. My attitude immediately underwent a huge change. Forcefully hugged Lin Susu into my embrace. "Actually, the past 2 years, I've always thought of you." "Have you? Thought of me? Brother? You're lying. Just words won't do. Must have actions too." Lin Susu turned tears into laughter, closed her eyes, puckered her rosy lips. She noticed the plastic bag Wang Yu's hand carried. "Brother, are you living in this district?" "The supermarket just now. Only people from this district would go. You're also here." In my heart arose a bad feeling. Like this if Lin Susu was also here. The idle days really ended. Occasionally being pulled by Lin Susu to play around was fine, if she came every day. Can't stand it. "Yes, I am also here. From now on we can meet often. Are you happy?" I squeezed out a stiff smile. "Happy. I knew you'd be very happy." Lin Susu held Wang Yu's hand. Her tone slightly carried a wheedling quality. Brother, I want to come see your rental. Can't. I have a guest at home. Is a teacher who helped me a lot. Taking you over now isn't very appropriate. My face was serious. Withdrew my hand. Righteously refused Lin Susu's request. Anya, sooner or later have to get acquainted anyway. Brother, take me over to see. Lin Susu pulled Wang Yu's arm, gently swayed. Moreover, I am this beautiful and cute. No matter who I am shown to, I won't make you lose face. After saying this sentence, she seemed to suddenly realize something. Said warily, could it be that person isn't some teacher or what? Just someone with an emotional relationship with you? She's my supervising teacher from university days. During university, she helped me several times, so I respect her very much. This sentence I said completely, without feeling guilty. My gaze was also extremely sincere. Lin Susu stared at Wang Yu's gaze. Didn't see a trace of guilty feeling. Could it be she overthought? Tomorrow then. Tomorrow I'll take you to see. Lin Susu rolled her eyes, also retreated a step. Tomorrow is tomorrow. Don't lie to me. Can't I secretly follow you over later? By then I'll knock on your door. Can you still drive me out the door? I gently comforted several times, until coaxing Lin Susu to smile brightly like flowers, only then left here alone. But the first thing after leaving Lin Susu, I immediately went to a lottery ticket shop, bought a lottery ticket, carefully stored the lottery ticket, headed home toward the rental. Used the key to open the main door. Then saw Lin Tao leaning against the sofa, extremely bored playing with her phone. Seeing Wang Yu return, Lin Tao stood up and went to the door. Naturally received things from Wang Yu's hands, turned and went into the kitchen. These things I'll process first. I'll cook you a bowl of noodles. You eat first. If you don't know how to process the fish, don't touch it. I took out a pair of newly bought slippers, placed them on the mat, bent down to put them on. The interaction between the two appeared extremely natural. Nothing awkward, nothing overly polite. Entered the dining room. I saw the bowl of noodles on the dining table. Beside also placed a pair of chopsticks. Sat down by the dining table, picked up the chopsticks. Suddenly, a doorbell rang. Ding, dong. My heart jumped. Suddenly arose a bad feeling. This time frame, who else could come? Could it be Lin Susu? Secretly followed up. The speculation didn't last long. Outside the door immediately transmitted a voice. Open the door. I know you're here. I felt my head hurt a bit. This time it's trouble. I really admired this shameless girl. Like this, if genders were switched, her behavior would be very dangerous. If I called the police, she'd 100% have to go in for a few days. Lin Tao in the kitchen heard the doorbell. Still didn't move. Continued washing things in her hands, until outside the door transmitted a woman's voice. She wiped the watermarks on her hands clean, stood at the kitchen door. Her gaze blandly stared at Wang. I put down the chopsticks, also looking toward Lin Tao. Knew Lin Tao wanted me to explain a bit. Silent for a few seconds. I said, she's just my younger sister. Do you believe it? Aren't you an orphan? So this younger sister is an emotional sister? Lin Tao's gaze gradually turned cold. You don't need to explain to me. I am not anyone to you. I am just a teacher. Your private life is chaotic. What does it have to do with me? She and I are children from the same orphanage. I am older than her, so she's my younger sister. Lin Tao's gaze was suspicious. Really not? My tone was sincere. Really? Outside the door transmitted a voice again. Brother, open the door. If you don't open, I'll sleep at the door. Hearing this sentence, I was abnormally delighted. Raised my hand pointing outside. Look, she called me brother. Lin Tao's gaze softened. Knew she misunderstood. Turned and went into the kitchen. After I comforted Lin Tao, then went to the door. Opened the main door. Saw Lin Susu with a giggling expression. My anger came in one place. Could only tense my face. Are you satisfied now? I didn't follow you. I am at building 8 next door. When returning, coincidentally saw you. So, couldn't help but be curious. Followed up. Lin Susu was blocked by Wang Yu at the main door. Could only stick her head out at the door looking inside. I stepped back, gave some space. Signaled Lin Susu could enter now. She stepped through the main door. There's a guest at home. Better behave for me. I know. Lin Susu raised her small head proudly. Barefoot, swaying, stepped into the living room. Lin Tao finished processing things, came out from the kitchen. She first looked toward Lin Susu when seeing that familiar face, and also that very personalized hair color. Lin Tao was stunned. Isn't this the company's channel operations person? This channel operations person is Wang Yu's younger sister. Does it need to be such a coincidence? Lin Susu, looking at Lin Tao, was also stunned. She widened her eyes looking at Lin Tao. Isn't this the part-time operations person in the company? Now became my brother's supervising teacher. For a moment, Lin Tao and Lin Susu, two people. I first realized the atmosphere was off. You all know each other? Lin Susu spoke up. She's your university supervising teacher. A woman coming to a man's home for late dinner, and 2 people eating late dinner privately. Is this really normal? Is this really a supervising teacher and student relationship? I didn't answer Lin Susu's question. Instead, looked toward the more reliable Lin Tao, asking, Miss Lin, won't you explain the current situation? I know her. She's the company's channel operations. The matter is just that simple. After answering Wang Yu's question, Lin Tao pushed her gold-rimmed glasses, her eyebrows lightly furrowed. My CPU is about to burn up. The company manager is Chu Yun. One operations is Lin Tao. One operations is Lin Susu. Does it need to be such a coincidence? Lin Susu immediately pulled Wang Yu's arm, forcefully swayed. Her gaze pitifully looked at Wang Yu, occasionally looked at Lin Tao once. The meaning was obvious. Today you must explain. You and this teacher don't have any extra relationship. Otherwise, she'll make a fuss. What kind of look is this? I came to my senses, frowned. Don't use your dirty thoughts to look at Miss Lin and me. Miss Lin and I are pure. Don't have any improper relationship. Lin Susu widened her beautiful peach eyes, still wanted to retort. A few sentences not yet spoken were quickly interrupted by me. Doubting me is fine. You're also doubting Miss Lin. If her reputation is damaged and wronged, can you take responsibility? Lin Tao stood at the kitchen door, warily pursed her lips, just feeling her cheeks burning hot. Guilty mixed with a trace of excitement, she followed Wang Yu to sit by the dining table. Lin Tao didn't follow to sit by the dining table, but herself sat alone on the living room sofa. In her heart felt a bit sullen. The beautiful world of two people. Suddenly, a light bulb appeared. So annoying. So annoying. So annoying. Lin Susu crossed her hands on the dining table, tilted her head watching Wang Yu eat noodles. Brother, why did you suddenly disappear for 2 years? Didn't even call me once. Back then, I was being hunted and ran abroad. Yeah, I am asking seriously. Answer me seriously. After finishing the bowl of noodles Lin Tao made, I stood up, without turning my head, went into the kitchen. I am going to work on dinner. Might need some time. If you don't want to wait, you can go back now. After saying this sentence, I pulled the sliding kitchen door closed. For a moment, the living room suddenly became cold. Lin Susu sat by the dining table, looked toward Lin Tao sitting in the living room, asked about today's work. Miss Lin, were you at the scene for today's ancient to modern costume change video? Although Lin Tao wasn't her teacher, but people in the company all called Lin Tao teacher. She was at the scene. Lin Tao sat in the living room closing the work group, looked toward Lin Susu, said frankly, do you have something you want to ask? It's that. Lin Susu suddenly lowered her voice a bit. In Chu Yun's final scene, about to cry. How did she really cry? Or did she use eye drops? Lin Tao said indignantly. She cried. Lin Susu was like discovering a new continent. This type of quiet person. I thought she'd be very shy. Couldn't make that expression. Lin Tao recalled Chu Yun's expression at that time. I also didn't think of it. Lin Susu suddenly asked, Miss Lin, are you still coming to the company tomorrow? Lin Tao blandly. Tomorrow my school has something. Lin Susu suddenly raised her head. The day after tomorrow, Chu Yun will go to Shanghai Disneyland. Shoot a video. Because that amusement park is 10 years old. By then, there'll definitely be a wave of traffic. Probably have to fly over there tomorrow afternoon. Lin Tao seemed to see what Lin Susu wanted to express. Chu Yun is taking you? That's right. Lin Susu walked before Lin Tao and spun around. Said smugly, because I have to appear in front of the camera in that video. Amusement park themed video. No matter how you look, it suits me. Lin Tao nodded. Quite suitable. Not seeing the gaze she wanted to see, Lin Susu continued asking another question. This type of project can work and play at the same time. I don't you want to go? Tomorrow my school has something. Lin Tao's gaze was calm, didn't show any envious gaze. Lin Susu looked at Lin Tao, suddenly realized something. With a figure like Miss Lin's, if appearing in front of the camera, movements with slightly larger range would definitely be called sensitive. Miss Lin, can I ask you something? Lin Susu suddenly looked at the kitchen door once, lowered her voice asking, does my brother often secretly look at you? Meaning that type you understand. What secretly looking? Lin Tao's face stiffened. One hand at an angle, Lin Susu couldn't see, gripped the sofa tightly. In her heart felt a bit embarrassed and angry. What kind of outrageous words are these? Is this a question a normal person can ask? Or do you think we're very familiar? Any question can be casually asked? Meaning, does my brother, when you're not paying attention, secretly look at your chest? Lin Susu glanced at Lin Tao's chest once, in her heart full of jealous resentment at the same time. There was also a kind of inexplicable impulse, which was wanting to give Lin Tao 2 slaps, one left, one right. These 2 slaps weren't wanted. Lin Tao wisely chose to close her mouth. This type of question, no matter how answered, was wrong. Still better not to answer. Facing Lin Tao's silence, Lin Susu roughly knew the answer in her heart. Her delicate small face immediately drooped. Lin Susu immediately ran to the kitchen door. Shua, with a sound, pulled open the sliding door. Under my surprised gaze, poured a cup of water. On her face hung a flattering smile. With a proper attitude, held a cup of water. Placed before Lin Tao. Miss Lin is thirsty. Drink some water. I held a knife in my hand, stood at the kitchen door. Used a questioning gaze to look at Lin Tao. What did you do to Lin Susu? Why did she become like this? Lin Tao's gaze looked at Wang Yu in confusion. She also didn't know why Lin Susu became like this. Just now, still had a disappointed face. Suddenly perked up to help her pour water. Forget it. Let her be. I turned back to the kitchen. Thought Lin Susu's thinking was originally jumpy, doing some things ordinary people found hard to understand. Also wasn't anything strange. Lin Tao didn't let Lin Susu keep holding the water cup. She received the water cup and said thanks. Drank a small sip, then placed the water cup on the tea table. Lin Susu revealed a smile with obvious intentions. Miss Lin, can I ask you some rather private questions? Lin Tao just put down the water cup and clenched her fist. Under the gold-rimmed glasses, her eyes revealed a feeling of regret. Now was regret. Very regretful. If only she hadn't received the cup. Ill look at the question, then answer. Lin Susu seriously asked a question. Miss Lin, what bra size are you? After hearing, Lin Tao breathed a sigh of relief. Simple questions between women, still acceptable. Not hard-to-speak topics. Lin Susa's gaze trembled once. In her heart couldn't help but weakly count. ABCDE, Miss Lin was judging 4 major realms higher than her. In cultivation novels, equivalent to her being at key refining stage, while Miss Lin was already at nascent soul. What kind of joke is this? Suppressing the shock in her heart, Lin Susu asked another question. Miss Lin, what do you usually eat for breakfast? Lin Tao thought a bit. Soy milk and fried dough sticks or some flour-based food. Won't eat much. From now on, don't drink milk anymore. Switch to soy milk. Lin Susu noted the question in her heart, continued asking questions. What do you usually eat for lunch? Lunch is usually at the school cafeteria. Whatever the cafeteria has, I eat. Miss Lin, can you be more specific? This is very important to me. Please. Lin Susu clasped her hands together. Expression, extremely sincere. Lin Tao was helpless. Lunch eats less oil, mainly vegetables, combined with some light meat. For dinner, I usually cook myself. Eat similar to lunch. Seeing Lin Susu lower her head, fall into contemplation, Lin Tao sighed. Actually, your figure is already very good. Slender, without appearing thin. Overall, very balanced. Whatever clothes you wear looks good. No need to change anything. Lin Susu made a profound expression. You don't understand. You don't understand. Anything. I don't need your cheap comfort. Hearing these words pretending to be mature, Lin Tao was about to laugh in anger. Little person, big demon, silent for a few seconds, seemed to fear Lin Susa's obsession was too deep, would do things harmful to the body. She still kindly seriously advised. You can adjust from diet, but don't think about any surgery. That method is ultimately short-term. Long-term very easily has problems. Miss Lin, no wonder my brother respects you so much. You're a good teacher. Lin Susu, hearing Lin Tao's sincere words, suddenly said a sentence. Until just now, she still considered Lin Tao as an imaginary love rival. Thought Lin Tao and Wang Yu's relationship wasn't pure, but now looking at it, seems she overthought. Looking at Lin Susu beside giggling foolishly, Lin Tao felt Wang Yu's younger sister was still quite interesting. Besides thinking, being a bit jumpy, could still distinguish good from bad. Nature also wasn't bad, after all, being Wang Yu's younger sister. Then Lin Susu also counted as her sister-in-law. Thinking of this, Lin Tao, looking at Lin Susu's gaze also,